All right, so we've got a new lower body workout today, and we'll start with just some ankle warm-ups, knee and hip warm-ups. So for our ankles, we're just gonna do some ankle rolls. Just go one leg at a time. I'm gonna start in a clockwise direction. Try to get the ankle all rolled out on all sides. And then let's go in the opposite direction, so counterclockwise. And then switch legs. All right, very good. And then other direction. So I'm going counterclockwise on my left. Okay, and now we're gonna do just some plantar flexion, so of each foot independently. So one foot, both foot stays on the floor, the ball of the foot stays on the floor as you roll into plantar flexion. Okay, very good. And then let's try dorsiflexion. So again, one foot, the heel stays on the floor for both legs, but we're just trying to pull those toes up without like shifting our butt back. So we don't want to shift our butt back, just trying to activate those shins in the front of your feet, front of your legs. Okay, and we'll go into some knee circles. So we're going to bring feet together, hands on your knees. I'm slightly bent over, but my back is flat. So don't round your back. We want to get your back nice and flat. And then we're just going to do simple knee circles. You can start small and then go big. If you feel like you're already pretty warm, then you can go right into big knee circles. Kind of notice how your ankles are also moving around and rolling side to side. And then let's reverse that direction. So counterclockwise with your knees. All right, very good. We're gonna do some knee hugs. So we're going to grab our knee, pull your knee up, grab the other knee, pull the knee up. Don't worry if you lose your balance. Go slow, I always say, if you're losing your balance. One more on each side. Very good. And then we're going to do some hip circles. So I'm going to put my hands on my hips. I'm going to bring my knee up, and we're going to circle that hip out and around. Let's do 6 in this direction, and then we'll do the opposite direction as well. This just helps to get that femur, the head of that femur, kind of rotating in your hip. There's a little socket called your acetabulum, and a lot of times it gets jammed in there. All right, and then let's change direction. So we come out, pull in. Come out, pull in. You should feel how your glutes are kind of helping to do this motion. The glutes, kind of surround that hip, comprise that hip. All right, and let's change directions, or change sides, sorry. So we're gonna pull up with the knee and then out. Pull up and reach out. Pull up and reach out. Kim, that orange shirt looks nice on you. Is it new? And then change direction. So pull out and then pull in. Out to in. Out and in. Very good. And then last but not least, we'll just do some hinges. So we're just gonna do just a general kind of hip hinge. So remember, leg stays long, hip stays high, back is flat. Push that butt back. Flavia, can you turn to your side so I can see you? Yep, there we go. So remember, we want that booty nice and high. So there we go. Let's do 3 more. Reach that butt back. Good. Keep that butt even higher, Flavia. So your chest is facing the floor. Upper back is parallel to the floor. There you go. Yeah. Okay, very good. All right, everybody. So we'll start on the floor. We've got the first 3 activation or strength exercises are going to be a marching bridge, which is similar to the bridged walkouts that we've done the last couple sets for those hamstrings. So let me demonstrate this one quick and then we'll start. So we'll be in our bridge position and then maintaining our positioning. So hips neutral, hips tucked. We are going to march one leg at a time off of the floor. Notice my foot only comes off of the floor a couple inches, and the whole goal here is to maintain hip neutrality. So I don't want to be dipping my hip towards the floor when I lift that leg. We need to keep your posterior chain really engaged, even on the leg that raises off the ground. So even when I raise my right leg, I'm still contracting through my right butt. Okay, so let's do those together. We're gonna do 12 times total, so 6 on each side, nice and slow at a very controlled pace. So everybody come on up into their bridge position, drive down into the floor with those heels, and we'll start that march nice and slow and controlled. Feel how your hamstrings and your glutes and your core even and your pelvis is helping to stabilize and keep that neutral alignment. One more on each side. Very good. Okay, roll to your side, but we're gonna stay on the ground for this next one. So our legs are going to be straight out in front of you, or as straight as we can have them. My hands are going to come forward and reach as far forward as possible. So my hands right now are kind of like mid-shin. I'm going to point my toes, so my whole leg lengthens, and then I'm going to do one leg at a time of this leg raise. So I call this a pancake leg raise because we're kind of like pancaked over. So we're gonna raise one leg at a time 10 times. You're gonna feel how your core has to really help you and support you with this one. So lift up tall through your torso, lean forward as much as you can, point your toes, and let's raise that right leg 10 times. Your quad and your hip flexors. And switch to the left. Left toe points and raise the left. Nine and 10. Very good. Okay, we're gonna stand up. You will need your paper plate or your towel if you're on a hardwood floor. We're gonna go into a lateral lunge, but we're gonna be sliding into that lateral lunge. So right foot will start on the paper plate. I'm going to drive that leg into my lateral extension, and then I'm going to drag that plate back to center. So I drive it away from me, and I drag it back to center. We're gonna do 10 on each side. So when we're ready, we can begin. So push the plate away, pull the plate in. The more pressure you push into the plate, especially on this drag, you'll feel how the inner hamstring, inner adductor muscles are engaged a lot better. And of course, we're sitting into that left hip, right, and that left butt. So that left butt is definitely going to be helping us a lot as we come back up. We've got 2 more. Very good, and let's switch legs. And we've got 10 on the other side. Push that leg out, drag it back in. Push it out, drag it in. Very good, we've got 4 more. One more. Very nice. Okay, we're going to go right back onto our backs for that marching bridge position. Whew. When we're ready, we'll begin and we're going to do 12 of these. So remember, 6 on each side. So go ahead, everybody raise up into that bridge position and begin that slow march. Lots of pressure down with the leg that's on the floor. Keep both butt cheeks squeezed. Try to zipper up your pubic bone towards your rib cage so that we don't have an arch in your back. You've got 1 more on each side. Very good. Roll to your side to get up. Use your arms to push you off of the ground. And then we'll come back into that pancake position. So legs out in front of you. So to make the movement a little easier, if we need to modify, hands can come behind us or on the sides of us. The harder it is with your arms forward. Okay, so again, let's point those toes. Try to sit up nice and tall through that torso and go ahead and begin raising your right leg 10 times. Eight, 9, 1 more, and 10. Very good. And lean forward, and we'll go ahead with the left leg. Reach up with that left foot, left leg. Number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Very good. Carefully get on up, and we'll go into those lateral lunges with the slider. If you want to add weight, you can add weight to this at your shoulders or at your chest. I'm not going to today. And we're doing 10 on each side. So remember to push that leg out and pull it back in. Push out and pull. Try to challenge yourself by going lower. Don't go too low where you do the splits. Susan, I know that's sometimes what happens to you. Just because you can do the splits doesn't mean you should with this one. And just pay attention that your leg is not going behind you. Mom, your leg looks like it's going kind of on a backward diagonal axis. So just make sure it's going directly to the right side. I'm on my last one, I believe. And we'll switch legs. Okay, and we're gonna push to the left, drag back to center. Push to the left, drag back in. My arms come them in front of me merely for balance. So hands at the center is fine. I prefer a reach because it also helps to keep my back engaged and my torso tall and long. Very good. That was the last one. We'll head right back down to the floor. We're going to do our third and final set. So we're back to that marching bridge. Hands by your side. Get yourself in a nice straight position. Go ahead and pull those hips up towards the ceiling and begin your march. Nice and slow and controlled. If you can, look down your body so you can actually see your hips. If you can't, you can always put your hands on your hips so that you have some sort of stimulus, some sort of guide, so that if you can't feel that your hip is dipping, maybe you can feel it with your hands and you can correct it. We've got one more on each side. Very good. Roll to your side, and we'll get into that pancake position. Trying to challenge yourself. The more we go through this one, the more easier it is for your body. So the first set's usually the hardest set. So I'm going to challenge myself and try to do both legs at the same time. So Louisa, why don't you try to do that as well? Everybody else can stick with one leg at a time. Okay, so when you're ready, go ahead with the right leg for 10 sets, or 10 repetitions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Those of you who are doing one leg, go ahead and switch to the other leg. Louisa, let's do another 10 while they're doing that. Whew, and begin. Very good. Ooh, those are hard. Okay, and then we're going right into that lateral lunge. So grab your slider, your towel, your paper plate, whatever it is, and we'll begin for 10. So drive into that lateral lunge, almost like a single leg squat, right? We've been doing a lot of those the last couple weeks. So that hip should be slightly aware of what we're doing, familiar with the pattern. It's all very similar patterns. It's just a change of angle, usually. Got one more. Very good. Switch legs. Remember, the more pressure you push into the leg that's sliding, the more activation you'll get, especially on the contraction, so on the way back in. Drive that foot in. One more. Very good. Finish the rep that you're on. We are done with the plate and the towel. Grab a drink if you need it, and then we will move on to our next 3 exercises. Okay, while you guys are getting a drink, I will demonstrate what the first movement is. Susan and Louisa, you guys have done this in Aldoa class before, but we are going to be in a wide position with our arms. So we're kind of pushing up into this Y position, like the YMCA. What we're going to do is we reach the leg behind us to allow the hip to go into extension. The butt should normally kind of squeeze if you're pushing into the floor. So make sure you push those toes into the floor. And then we pull the hip into flexion. So I want you guys to be pulling with that hip. We're gonna do 10 times on each side. All right, so if we are all ready, we'll get those arms up in that position. My wrists are bent and I'm pushing through the palms of the heels of my hands. Okay, get nice and stacked on our left side. Reach your right leg back so that your glute contracts and your hip is an extension, and then pull through the hip into hip flexion. We'll do 10 times. This is number 2, 3, find a focal point, push with those arms, strong with your left leg. We have one more. Very good. Good job with the balance, everybody. Okay, shake out your arms if you need to, and then we'll go right back up for that left side. All right, arms up into our Y position. We're gonna get nice and strong on the right-hand side. Left leg reaches back into hip extension, and then pull that hip into flexion. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Feel how the hip kind of rotates forward and then rotates back. That's number 9 and 10. Very good. Shake out your arms. You're going to need your 2 books or your yoga blocks, whatever you're going to use for your elevation. So we're going to do a heels elevated squat. So I'm just going to align my books right next to each other. My heels will go on the books. The balls of my feet and my toes are on the floor, obviously. And with this one, I'm going to have my feet facing forward. I am hip distance apart, maybe slightly wider than hip distance apart, but I'm not going to have a turnout of my feet. So with the heels, with the books under our heels, is going to give us a little bit more flexibility in our ankle, which will allow us to go deeper into the squat. So we are going to do 15 of these squats nice and slow. Again, I'm going to be reaching out my arms, so the movement will look like this. Okay, it should give us a little bit more, like I said, more range of motion in the ankle and the knee and the hip. So when everybody looks ready, so we'll go ahead and begin for 15. Nice and slow on the way down and up. Nice on the way down. You'll feel it in your quads a lot, which is really important for when we need to get off of the toilet or out of a chair or off of the couch. We want those quads to be nice and strong so we don't have to rely on our arms. Control the way down. Very good, we've got 2 more. Very good. I'm just going to slide the books out of the way. We will come back to those in a couple minutes. We're going to go into a reverse lunge and forward lunge, but with tempo. So I'm going to go into this position so you can see better. So I'm going to start going into a forward lunge. I'm going to go down very slowly. I'm going to pause at the bottom for 2 seconds, and then I will drive myself back up. And if I can, I will go right into the reverse lunge. If you need to pause at this center position, you can. So let me do 1 repetition so you guys can watch. I will step forward, go down nice and slow. I'm going to pause just before my knee hits the floor. Pause for 2 seconds. I know that was longer. I push back and come into my reverse lunge. Pause before my knee hits the floor. Step up. And I go right back into that forward lunge. We're going to do 5 on each side, 10 total. Okay, everybody's ready. You can go ahead and begin. Remember, we want to control that descent. Nice and slow. Pause for 2. Push. Don't lose your balance. If you need to come to the center, you can. Push. This is number 3. So forward and back counts as 1. Whoops, and I lost my balance. This is number 4. Last set for 5 here, and then we will switch legs. Very good, and switch legs. Whew. Okay, I'm gonna start with my left leg. So step forward, control the descent and pause, reach back. My legs are definitely feeling this. We've got 2 more. One more. Ooh. Whew, very good. Okay, shake them out. We're gonna go right back into that Y hold with hip extension flexion. Okay. Whew, that one gets your heart rate up. Okay, arms are gonna be in that Y position. Let's start on the opposite leg now. So I'm gonna start balancing on my right. I will reach my left leg behind me and pull hip into flexion. Reach back, squeeze that butt, pull through the hip. Be aggressive when you pull that leg up. Feel how that hip contracts. We've talked a lot about having the big toe on the ground when we march. Well, when we put our leg back like that, our big toe is on the ground. So it's almost like we're finishing a running stride. Oops, lost my balance. And let's go ahead and switch legs. Stabilize on your left, reach the right behind you, and pull up into hip flexion. Reach and pull. So like I said, it's almost like we're finishing, we're just coming off into like a stride from your run, right? So the big toe's on the ground, where a leg is about to leave the floor, and it leaves the floor. One more. Very good. Okay, grab your books or whatever you're using for an elevation. I don't know about you, but the sweat is dripping off of me. Okay, feet are facing forward. I'm going to show you from this angle actually, so you can see what it looks like from the side. Okay, if we're ready, we're going to go for 15 and begin. So try to maintain a nice flat back. It is okay if your knees go forward. They most likely will not go past your toes, so don't worry about it. But we're trying to get those hips below the knees, or as to the most comfortably uncomfortable position, I should say. So don't go low enough where you're creating pain, but it should be challenging. Although with the elevation of the heel, it does make it easier. Make sure your core is bracing you, right? So I'm kind of making sure that my core is activated. I'm pulling in for those from those lower deep pelvis muscles at the bottom. We have 2 more. Very good. Move the books out of the way, and we'll go into the forward and backward lunges. Okay, so I'm going to start with my left leg this time, since I started with my right leg on the last time. So if everybody's ready, we'll go ahead and start with our left. We're going to lunge forward, control the descent, pause for 2, and push back. That push back is always difficult, so don't worry about it if you need to take a step in the center. Control the descent and push. This is number 4. One more. Very good. Shake them out, and we'll go to the other leg. Left leg stands, right leg lunges. And go forward. And push back. Forward. And push back. It helps to have a focal point, whether that is the computer or a couple feet in front of you. And one more. I might have gotten off count. Oh, very good. Okay, shake out those legs. We've got one more set. Okay, so we're going back into the hip extension, hip flexion. I'm going to show you from this angle one more time. Whew. So if we're ready, let's go ahead and get those arms up. Let's reach that right leg back and pull up into hip flexion. Notice my left knee stays straight and strong the whole time. So it's going to start with that foot, right? Make sure that our left foot is nice and activated, grabbing the floor, strong with the quad, strong with the knee. Your glute is stabilizing for you and your hip. And switch legs. Very good. Shake out your arms if you need to. Standing on the right. Hip extension and flexion with the left. Arms up in your Y position. Reach back with the left. And pull into hip flexion with the left. Butt squeezes on the way back. Pull with the hip on the way up. The more stable your upper body is, the more you're pushing, it kind of draws tension all the way up. Two more. Very good. Okay, we've got those heels elevated squats. So grab your elevation. Okay, and if everybody's ready, looks like it, we'll begin for 15. Okay, here we go. Down we go, and up. Down we go, and up. Challenge yourself to go lower if you can. If it feels okay in your knees, squeeze your glutes. We've got 5 more, nice and controlled. Two more. Very good. Okay, we're done with your books or your props. We've got one more set of your forward and backward lunges. Okay, so again, I'm going to start with my left leg so my right leg can stabilize first. That's my more difficult side. I'm going to get it done with first. Okay, so everybody's ready. We'll go ahead and forward lunge, pause, push back. Pause just before you hit the floor. This is our last one on this side. Very good. Shake out legs if you need to. And we'll be going on the right side. So stabilize on the left and forward lunge on the right. Pause at that bottom and push back. This is number 2. Number 3. Number 5 right here. Very good. Okay, grab a drink, and I'm going to demonstrate our conditioning piece. So with this one, the last couple weeks we've been working with either 30 seconds of work, 10 or 20 seconds rest, or 40 seconds of work, 20 seconds rest. We're going to up it today. So we're going to go 1 minute of work. However, we're going to get 1 minute of rest. So work hard on that first minute, because then you get a long rest period, okay? So let me show you the 4 movements that we're going to do, and then we will start them all together. So the first one is going to be a plyo sumo squat. That generally means jumping or very fast movements. So what it's going to look like is we will be starting in this position, and then we will jump into this wide sumo squat. We will jump back, jump wide, jump back. If that is too much for you for jumping, you will stay in your sumo squat and just do your squats this way. Your range of motion is not going to be as deep as what we just did. The hips don't move like that, so don't worry about your range of motion. We're just trying to get those hips opened, get those inner leg muscles working, because we don't usually put our legs in that position. Okay, second movement is going to be, I'm going to have my ottoman. You can use a couch, a chair, a table, a low table, I would say like a coffee table. You are going to have your leg on the ottoman to begin. You are going to raise your leg, and then you're going to swing it behind you into a curtsy lunge. So it'll be, leg will come off, and you'll swing around into a curtsy lunge. You'll swing it right back on top of that ottoman, table, chair. You'll lift up. That's where we got that quad strength when we were doing those pancake leg raises. So you lift up and swing around. We'll be doing 30 seconds on each side, so we accumulate a minute. The next one is going to be fast feet times 10, and then marching times 10. That will look like so I go into my fast feet for 10 steps, and then I slow it down and I march for 10 steps. We'll do that for a minute. That one is very difficult. It's also a little bit challenging for your coordination, but we'll get through it. And then the last one is going to be a mountain climber. So you can use your chair, if you have your chair or your couch, to elevate you. You can be on your elbows or your hands, or you can be on the floor. I will probably do a mixture, so I may start on the floor, and I would do a very controlled pace, because our goal is to do it for a minute. So move at a pace that you can sustain for the whole minute. Okay, so if we are ready to begin, we will go ahead. We've got 1 minute of each of these. So I'm going to start the timer. We're starting with those plyo squats. Remember, if you need to stay in your plyo squat position, you stay there. And 3, 2, 1, begin. Try to go really wide with those legs. Fast feet when you turn your legs back to normal, and then jump right back into that position. Do the best you can. This is a long time, I know. Three, two, one. Oh my goodness, rest. Shake it out. Walk around a little bit if you need to. I don't know if you guys can see, but my shirt is completely soaked. We've got 30 seconds. Try to slow down your heart rate. Okay, so the next one, Louisa, you doing okay? Okay, so the next one, we've got 10 seconds, but I'll just remind you. So it's the one where the leg is on the chair, ottoman, coffee table, or whatnot. In 3, 2, 1, raise that leg, swing it around to a curtsy lunge. Swing it right back up and around. Hopefully your breathing can come down a little bit with this one. You have to have some, a little bit slower controlled with this one, or we would just lose our balance. Allow that leg to just kind of swing around. It kind of feels good on your hip. And switch legs. Jeanette, that looks really good. We've got 3, 2, 1, rest. 1 minute of rest. Whew. Grab a drink. Bye, Aunt Donna. Have a good dentist appointment. Okay, the next one is the fast feet. So I challenge you to go really fast with those fast feet, and then you can slow it down when we go into that march. We'll be going back and forth between the fast feet and the marching for 1 minute. We've got 30 seconds still, so get a drink, towel yourself off. Whew. I wrote this one late last night, and it looks a little different on paper than it does when you feel it. We've got 10 seconds. I don't know if it's just because it's really hot or if it's difficult. In 3, 2, 1, here we go. And then slow it down for the 10. And right into that march. It does help if you're bent over a little bit for the fast feet. Whew. We've got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Very good. Good, Louisa. Finish strong. Okay, we've got a minute here, and then we're going into the mountain climbers. Whew. Flavia's taking a rest. That's totally fine. I know, it's hard today. All right, we've got about 20 seconds. And then kind of find wherever you're gonna do your mountain climbers. Louisa, be careful on your shoulder, obviously, when you do these. Whew. All right, 10 seconds. 3, 2, 1, begin. My back stays nice and flat, so keep your butt down. I want you to slightly look forward to the floor in front of you about a foot. If your head dips down too much, it puts a lot of stress on your neck. We're halfway there, almost. Now we're halfway there. Pull in from your core and your hip flexors. Strong arms. We've got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 1 minute rest, and then we're going back to those plyo sumo squats. I've got to get a drink. Oh. Okay, that was 1 round. My hopes were to do 3 rounds. We will reevaluate after the 2nd round. I do not think we will have time to do 3 rounds. So maybe next week we will move a little faster and get through 3 rounds. And that'll be how we progress. We've got 15 seconds. So let's just focus on this next set of 4 movements. And then we will do a couple stretches. Okay, here we go in 3, 2, 1, begin. This one might be the hardest one for me, so if it is for you too, don't worry about it. We're in the same boat. Remember, you'll get a nice long rest when we're done. Susan, be careful of the jumping. Don't jar your shoulder or anything. We've got 20 seconds to go. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh man. Whew. Shake it out. Walk it off. Whew. 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 I can hear my heart rate in my ears. Heart is beating. Okay, we've got 15 seconds. Next one is the leg raise plus curtsy. Let's start with the opposite leg. So I'm gonna balance on my right, move with my left. In 3, 2, 1, begin. Raise your leg and curtsy over. Swing it right back up. Swing it around to the curtsy, swing it back up. Try to make sure that you get that little bit of a raise off of the surface before you swing. Also, make sure that your standing foot is straight. I'm guessing that a couple of your feet are turned out. Switch legs. Right leg up. Raise that leg, woo, and swing around. Swing it back up, and swing it around. Three, two, one, rest. Very good. We've got the fast feet and the marching next. 30 seconds. All right, 15 seconds. Let's start with the marching this time. I feel like that's a little bit easier of a transition. All right, in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 10 marches. And then 10 fast feet. And 10 marches. And 10 fast feet. Fast, 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 fast. Push into that ground. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rest. Whew. Catch your breath, and then we've got the mountain climbers, and then we'll be done. We'll stretch out a little bit. Whew. All right, we've got 30 seconds. All right, let's get into our position. However, we're gonna do the mountain climbers. If it's elevated. Whew. All right, in 3, 2, 1, begin. Louisa, lower your butt if you can. Here you go, your back is like kind of rounded. Keep a steady pace. Do the best you can. We've got 25 seconds to go. Ten seconds to go. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Okay. Very good. We're going to come into a quad stretch, and we're going to do this face down. So if you know that you can't grab your heel behind you, you may need to grab a towel or a rope or something to hook your foot behind you. So I'm going to demonstrate what it's going to look like. You're going to be on your stomach. I will be resting my forehead on my forearm. of my left hand. I will grab my right leg. I'm going to try to grab at the ankle, not at the toes, at the ankle. And then with my head down, I'm going to press my foot away from me, away from my butt. I will press and hold for 5 seconds, and then I will relax and not push, not kick, and I will try to pull that heel towards my butt. We'll do that 3 times on each leg. So if everybody's set, remember if you need something to kind of hook behind you to help grab that ankle. Okay, and then we'll try to keep your ankle flexed and not pointed. We don't want to have the foot pointed, we want it flexed. Okay, so head on the forearm. All right, and kick that foot away from you. If it causes some knee pain, then ease up on the kicking. And then relax the kicking and pull the heel towards the butt. And go ahead and kick again. Kick, kick, kick. And relax the kick. Pull the heel towards the butt. Hopefully you should be feeling a stretch in the quad. And one more time. Kick, kick, kick. And relax the kick. Pull the heel to the butt. And relax, and we'll switch sides. So let's grab your left leg at the ankle. Forehead will go to the forearm. And kick that foot away from you. Kick, 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 kick. And relax the kick and pull the heel towards the butt. And then kick again. Try to keep that foot flexed and not pointed. And relax the kick. Pull the heel to the butt. One more time. Kick that foot away. Push, push, push. And relax the kick and pull the heel towards the butt. Very good. We're gonna push up into a hamstring stretch. So we've done this one plenty of times. So if we can sit with your legs out straight in front of you. Legs are coming right out of your hips. Malcolm, if you need your little Eric's pad, your blue pad to sit on. Okay, so once everybody's in position, we're gonna sit up nice and tall through your torso. We're going to bend the right leg. So the heel of my right foot is in line with the shin of my left leg. Sit up nice and tall, pull the toes of the left leg towards you, and then internally rotate that leg. So the big toe of my left foot is coming to my right shoulder. Reach through the heel on our left leg. Reach those arms forward. Lean forward. If this is all you can do, then that's all you can do. But try to reach to the left about 30 degrees. We're reaching over the straightened leg. Remember to sit up nice and tall and lean forward. The lean forward is the most important part. That's what helps tension that whole hamstring. Reach through the heel. Nice big breaths. And unwind that stretch, and we'll go to the other side. So right leg is extended, left leg is bent. Sit up nice and tall. Pull the toes of the right foot towards you, and then internally rotate that leg so the right big toe is pointing to left shoulder. Arms are going to come forward. Lean over that hip, so lean forward and rotate right. I want you to try to drive your right knee down to the floor so that it engages your quad, and reach through the heel at the same time. Very good. All right, let's finish with a couple of our forward folds. So stand up. Whew. And just like normal, kind of shake it out a little bit, and then we'll go chin to the chest, so the neck leads the way. Shoulder blades round forward. Slowly fall to the ground like a rag doll. And then start to unwind, unroll back up. Let's do a little extension at the top. So arms come up over you. If you can come to your toes up off of your heels and back down. Chin comes to your chest, shoulders roll forward, knees are bent slightly. Try to roll all the way down, one vertebrae at a time. Unwind, nice and controlled. And at the top, let's add a little overhead extension. And down one more time. Chin comes to your chest, shoulders roll forward. I want you to try to push your rib cage back as you round down. When you're at the ground here, push those rib cage back to the back of your back. One more overhead extension, reach up, look up. Very good. Okie dokie. We are done.